Hey everyone, welcome back to Premier Studying and Investing. Great to have you. I'm going to ask this simple question. Was the volatility higher in 2020 or 2009? I mean, both years are pretty crazy, and if I show you these graphs right here, you're looking at the Russell 3000. On the right, you're looking at 2009, and on the left in the orange, you're looking at 2020. Well, I mean, they're somewhat similar in large part. I mean, a big crash early in March in the year, and then kind of a consistent rise over the rest of the, say, 9 months remaining. Pretty interesting graphs here. If you're not familiar with the Russell 3000, it's basically the largest 3,000 firms that are traded in the United States. These are all U.S. firms. And Investopedia says that it comprises about 98% of all U.S. incorporated securities. We're also going to be looking at the Russell 2000 because I thought, maybe the smaller companies didn't fare so well. And we're going to look at those to see how the volatility compared with the big boys included and then without them. The Russell 2000 basically takes out those really large firms. And if you imagine you put all 3,000 companies, say, ordered from largest market cap, so like the FANG stocks, Apple, Netflix, all those at the very top, and you order them from greatest to least, the Russell 2000 would basically take the bottom 2,000 and leave the 1,000 in the, at the top. Russell 2000 is going to take the 2,000, you could say smallest in the Russell 3000. So that kind of gives you an idea. Before we jump into it, don't forget about 2009. We had the AIG bailout, American Insurance Group. We had the Lehman Brothers collapse. Bear Stearns goes down. We had all those adjustable rate mortgages where tons of people were underwater in their homes, where they owed more on their mortgage than the home was actually worth. And also Merrill Lynch. Merrill Lynch, I think, dropped from somewhere around $30 a share down to $2 a share when they were purchased by Bank of America. So what I've basically done is we'll start with the Russell 3000, and then we'll go and look at the 2000. So just pull the info for the year 2000 and the year 2009. If you get the log returns, that's we talk about that all the time. But if you're interested in running F-statistic helps you decide, helps you compare volatility or variance between two different data sets. So if you want to normalize your returns, you can do equal sign ln parentheses the newer date divided by the previous date. These are daily data that we're working with here. Anyways, you then find the sample variance, which is equal var.s, and then you highlight those returns that we just made. You do the same thing for the other group in 2009 here. And basically, my hypothesis is as follows. We're trying to decide if we can or cannot reject HO, which is that the variance in 2020 is less than or equal to the variance in 2009. I actually think that 2020 is going to be larger, so that's what I'm really looking to see. It ends up being that if you get this F statistic, you're basically going to divide the larger variance divided by the smaller variance, and that'll give you your F statistic, 1.68. And if we look, we can find a critical value of 1.3432. How in the world did I get that? Well, you can actually do these calculations right here if you want to work through all that, or we can simply go to the free statistics calculator. We have about 250 trading days per year, so about 250 degrees of freedom, 249, 250, it doesn't matter much for 2009. And for 2020, same number of trading days. Probability, I want it to be really high, so 0.01, that'll give us a 99% confidence level. And it tells us that our critical F value is 1.34. Great. That's from danielsuper.com, so very helpful there. Anyways, what we end up doing if we draw out the F statistic, our critical value will be here at 1.34, as you can see in the red. I thought red was a good color since it's, critical. And then the F statistic for our data, when we were comparing these two, was 1.68. So this is the do not reject zone, do not reject the null hypothesis, and this is reject the null hypothesis. So we're definitely going to be rejecting it since we're all the way out here, way past the critical value. And what that means basically is we're going to decide to reject HO. So what we'll conclude is that actually the 2020 variance was higher for the Russell 3000 as compared to the variance in 2009. So that's our first thing. And this is for all, this is about 98%, Investopedia said, of all incorporated securities in the United States. Well, what if we go over here and we take out those big, unshakable, behemoth companies, and we take the bottom 2/3 of the Russell 3000, and we take out just the bottom 2,000 firms and go to the Russell 2000. Well, again, we have pretty similar graphs. I mean, they don't look all that much different. This is a pretty scary drop here. This is 2020. So more scary than maybe this one, but still pretty big run-ups throughout the rest of the year. So we really did the same thing with our log returns, and we found an S statistic of 1.428, the critical value in red at 1.3234, excuse me. So again, here, our test statistic, F statistic, was out here. So again, we were in the reject zone. And again, my hypothesis was that 2020 was less than or equal to 2009. We end up rejecting this one. We end up accepting the hypothesis, the alternative hypothesis. The variance of 2020 was greater than the variance in 2009. So conclude the 2020 variance was higher for the Russell 2000 as compared to the variance in 2009. So what that ends up saying to us is that on the smaller stocks in the Russell 2000, we had higher volatility in 2020. And if we even include those big companies, the same result. The volatility in 2020 was actually higher as well. So in both cases, pretty, I don't want to say scary, but it's interesting to know if you're considering where are we headed in 2021. Well, I just thought that would be something that you might like to be aware of. And so that's at the statistically significant level, 99% confidence. So hope that helps. Thanks so much.